Hello, guys. So today we just wanted to chat to you about burnouts and actually why we experience burnouts. I think there is still this big misconception that burnout happens because we work too hard, we work long hours. And I'm not saying it can't happen, but actually most of the time it's not why it happens. I mean, just to give you an example, I'm sure you've all been in a scenario where, let's say, you were working like non-stop, or maybe you were moving a house or relocating a country and you didn't really sleep for days, but yet you were like excited and you were energized. And then something simple, like a simple task, completely wiped you off your feet, right? So as you can see, that the time we spend doing something or what we are doing often is not relevant. And I remember when I was back in my IT days, I was working on this project like 24/7 for days. We were launching this program, whatever, that I was coding. And I think for about a week, I lived off peanut butter, a lot of coffee. I don't think I slept. I would go home and shower quickly. But somehow I wasn't tired. We had this like team spirits and it was just all very exciting. And then after the project went live, I slept like a dead person for a few days. I was asked to document my code, right? And that one thing like wiped me off my feet. I remember it was like 11 o'clock in the morning and I couldn't stay awake. And I don't actually think I even finished the task. So where I'm really going with it is that sometimes we really need to look not at just how hard we work, but rather the work we're doing, whether it's in alignment with our strength, with our values, and how it makes us feel. And the feeling is the secret to productivity and to success. Sari, do you want to add anything, seeing that you were CEO of this massive company? I'm sure you must have dealt with people who were burning out. So what is your view on that?
First, let's talk about myself before I give the perspective as a manager. So for me, I believe that the happier people are the people that actually are not going to work. They are not working a day in their life, and not it's because they are millionaires and they, got millions of dollars and they should not worry about the paycheck. It's because I do believe that by the end of the day, we should choose the career that is actually excites us. This is what we want to do. The biggest, I think, barrier to burnout or anything else is if you are not where you are supposed to be. So I do know both perspectives. Sometimes we don't have a choice. And sometimes even if we chose a career, there is still stuff around it that we do not, not everything that I did as a CEO was the highlight of my day, okay? I actually, people who knows me worked really, really hard, had offices around, it was perceived as working hard. I had offices around the world, around the globe. I was constantly working, but I really loved what I was doing. So for me, just talking to another person, being on another meeting another customer, just, made me happy. So it was like I was generating my own energy. And the burnout actually showed up where around the aspects that I didn't like to do, but then I remind myself, this is like if somebody asked me if I want to do something else, no, this is where I want to be. So it actually helped me go over the places that I did not like. So for me, first check if this is what you want to do around the other areas of where you don't like every aspect about your job. Remind yourself that by the end of the day, you're one of the lucky ones because you actually love what you do and you would not change that. So after that long speech, do you want to say anything before I will say?
Yeah, because you touched on something. You touched on something important. You said, as a CEO, you had to do tasks that you were not particularly excited about, and this is a very valid point because, I understand when we work for a company, even when we run a business, there are going to be things that don't really motivate and inspire us. Like for me, it was always documentation that would literally like wipe me out. But what I want to actually suggest, while I still remember, is if that's the case with you, always start your day with one thing that energizes and inspires you the most. So if you've got like a to-do list, pick one thing. It's like, that was the most exciting thing, and do that one, and then pick the most exciting thing, and then do another one. Because what happens, actually, it keeps your energy level up. right? And by the time you get to the thing where you like really, really don't like, sometimes something actually incredible can happen. Either that thing is not even important, somebody else has done it, or you will do it without even noticing it because your energy is high, and energy is everything. So back to you. I just wanted to add that bit.
So all the managers that are actually looking at this video, so managers, I want to give you a perspective and will show how I see myself as a leader and as a manager. You would have people that are actually burned out. And I think as a manager, it's your talent and part of your job description is to actually motivate people. So if you as a manager, as a team leader, you would see, for example, that Lena does not look documentation and she's part of a team, you would actually find out who can do documentation on Lena's team that will not be Lena. So if you want to motivate your team, you will find out the small things that are causing burnout to your people. You would switch them up between the team, and you would look at it from energetic perspective of all your team and how you actually going to get the team to do their job and actually, be more motivated, get everybody to actually show up where their strengths are. And you would be surprised, Lena, there are actually people I know and quite like them to do documentation. And I'm sure they're part of every team. And we can find those unique people.
Yeah, no, I know, right? But a lot of like people don't approach it, like managers, leaders don't approach it that way. It's like, this is your job, this is what you've got to do. And actually my previous job, when I was working for Morgan Stanley, that's exactly what I did with my colleague. She's like, I love writing documentation. I'm like, great, it's all yours. Like, I will do whatever else, just don't give that to me. So yeah, like task swapping is a great idea, and that really, I mean, for that, then the managers or the team leaders, they have to engage with their people more, because I worked in many organizations, and a lot of the time my team lead or my manager, they would be so busy running from meeting to meeting, they wouldn't even ask me, like, what am I enjoying, what am I not enjoying? And I think scheduling that time with people to really understand, what do they love the most about the job, what are they looking forward to, what things energize them and what drains them, and whatever the drainer is, see if you can give it to someone else, not to drain them, but remember, like, what drains one person can actually energize and inspire others. And the task swapping, I think, is a great idea.
Another thing I wanted to emphasize on is that, sometimes as manager, as Lena said, we are very busy and we just expect the work to be done. So I think the most important thing is to understand in the overall job expectation from the people that we're actually managing. I used to see it as working with, I was the leader and I was working with everybody. Are they being difficult, or that's an energy issue? And if overall they will show up so amazing in other areas, so even cutting them some slack as a manager and focus on the areas you actually that actually means more. So as a parent and as a manager, I would tell you, pick your battles. If you can switch. And another thing about that is that sometimes we emphasize on the non-important stuff. So for example, documentation. With the day of age and technology and an AI that can script us and whatever, you can find a solution. So what I'm telling you is, even be creative. If you see that there is overwhelming energy investment, which I called burnout, that we are actually investing in other areas, find creative ideas how to, just solve it for the whole team and make them invest their energy where it actually counts and brings the company the most value.
And another point I want to touch on, and it may take me a little bit of time to express this, but it's something really close to my heart, is a system called human design. So for those of you who are not familiar with it, you may be familiar with Myers-Briggs or DISC, Strength Finder. So human design builds on these platforms and adds one essential element, which is our unique energy. So basically what it does, it shows us our energetic blueprint, because our energy is unique, Like we are not the same. Every single person is unique, not on just biological, physical, chemical level, but also on energetic level too. And when you know what your human design is, so if you are a manager or a leader, if you understand the human design types of your teams, you can then really allocate work and structure their schedule, or rather they can even structure their schedule in a way that it supports that blueprint, and then they become more productive, more engaged, and it also enables them to play to their strengths and really get into alignments with all of their natural talents and gifts that all of us have, but many of us just don't really know how to dig into them. And I'm not going to do it in this video, but there will be a video coming about human design, about different energy types. So energy types is like profiles. I think in my breaks, there was only 5, not like hundreds. And I will do like a deep dive into how we can use this information to really help us to stay focused, energized, and productive in everyday life.
So, Lena, maybe I'm surprising you. Maybe we should ask a brave person from the audience to
volunteer for human design
yes.
session. Yeah, if you guys are familiar with human design or you want to explore this further, let us know in the comments, and then we'll have you on our podcast. It's nothing too dangerous. We do need to know your date, time, as close as possible, and your place of birth. I know it may sound like a woo-woo concept, but you've got to roll with me. You've got to trust this, or don't if that doesn't resonate. But I promise you, just in a few minutes, I can sum up your energy. And I mean, the shifts that one person can experience is mind-blowing, because I went through massive energy burnout, not once, but twice, about 2 years ago. And when I came across human design, it completely transformed my life. I could see why I was repeating this energy burnouts and what was causing them. And once again, it was not the hard work, but what I was doing was out of alignment with my energetic blueprints. So if anybody wants to volunteer, that's great. If not, I can even do mine or share Sarit's, but we'll figure something out.
So first, thank you for being such a good sport. So let me summarize. So burnout is where you are in a disalignment with what makes you excited. That's the most simple term that I can explain
In
it.
misalignment with your true nature, really.
Exactly.
Yourself.
Exactly. And the biggest solution for that is choose a job you actually like. If you are, and even then you probably have aspects of your day-to-day that you not necessarily like. So our tips you can apply there. And if circumstances brought you to something that you are not completely happy with, that's okay too. Probably within that job, it's the opposite. You have things you like. So overall, try to do in work what actually makes you happy. So as the
and also
smart person says, he will not work a day or a task in your life.
That's very true. And also remember to start your day with something that you are feeling passionate and excited by. There must be at least one thing. If not, then definitely get another job. And what was the third one? What was that?
We're not recommending anybody to get fat. That's not.
I mean, I think we can all use our common sense. We can all use our common sense. We're all adults here. And then the third one was, I don't know. And the third one was task swapping. So, swap tasks, even with your colleagues, bribe them with lunch, whatever it is, but literally keep your energy level up, because your energy is your highest currency. It's like, if any of you have ever had a burnout, you may understand what I'm talking about.
So Lena, you can bribe me for doing stuff on our YouTube channel you don't want to do. I'm coming to England. I'm bribing for lunch. It's a bribe I can handle.
Well, luckily there's no documentation to do apart writing some posts, and that I do enjoy. So once I figure out something I really don't like, we got a deal. Guys, well, I hope it was helpful. Do you want to add anything else in conclusion to this long video? I hope it was helpful. As always, we would love to hear from you, your feedback, your comments, shares, etc., suggestions, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.